D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished Superman Lois, episode 2 of season 3. Yeah, there we go. If I can get my stuff together. And I have to say right now, they're trying to pull at the heartstrings on this one, and they kind of did, but I mean, it was a little predictable when it came to Lois in this one. And then also, I mean, they're doing this whole intergang thing, and I mean, that's all right too. And they've got onomatopoeia in there, which they've gender swapped onomatopoeia from the comic books. I don't like that. I think that, and it looks like they're trying to go in this serious route with onomatopoeia. And I love how I say it, like onomatopoeia every 5 seconds. But they're trying to go in like a serious route. And I always thought of onomatopoeia as like a Deadpool, a version of Deadpool, you know, just not as fun. Deadpool's, you know, I personally like Deadpool better, but yeah, I just thought that they're going in a serious route, and I'm all like, I don't know. And then also, I'm trying to figure out where they're going with this season. I mean, is it leading to like a dark side kind of thing? I mean, I don't know, man. I have a lot of questions. If you have any theories, throw them down in the comment section. I'm just curious as to what's going down here. And I don't see it, but maybe I'll figure it out later. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm too tired right now. Yeah, I have other comments on stuff. I won't take up too much of your time because this episode wasn't exactly like very action-packedy in terms of like Superman fighting stuff like the last episode, but I still liked it. All right, let's start on this breakdown. But before I do, you guys, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, so now we got that out of the way. Let's get started on this review. Crazy hair. All right, so it starts off with Lois, and she's going into Dr. Iron's office, and she's having some stuff checked. Now, when they first started this off, I could tell something was like, because remember, she's not pregnant from the other thing. And they're going through all this stuff, and she's very upset and all this stuff. Now, I knew from the get-go it was going to be cancer. It's cancer, by the way. And I was all like, you know, I'm not trying to like, I don't know. It was just like, I was like, oh, we're going to the cancer route. Everybody always goes the cancer route. But I understand. Nobody knows. Everybody knows somebody that's been affected by cancer. So I got it. I was like, okay. I was like, let's see where they go from this, where they go with this. So she's obviously distracted. And so school's been canceled because of the mold, if you remember from last episode. And they're all like, can we please just get out of here? And they're like, yeah, go. But the car better be in the driveway by the time dark. You guys remember, I'm older than a lot of people, but do you remember when you were younger and your parents were all like, as soon as those streetlights come on, your butt better be in this yard? I was like, those were the days, yo. And like you'd go into somebody's house and you'd be playing, and then all of a sudden you come outside and the streetlights are on. And you're like, oh, we're in trouble. I remember those days. Good times. And then people had to go and get all weird. Okay, so anyway, so he's like, you okay? And she's like, yeah. He's like, how was that thing with your dad? And she obviously lied to him. She's like, you know my dad. And so they're talking about how he talks about how, you know, hey, we thought we were going to have another baby. And she's like, no, it was nice to be, you know, in a fantasy land for a couple of days. And he's like, well, Tal Row has another, you know, villa, you know, wherever and everything. And I'm all like, oh, you guys in this Tal Row villas and stuff. So then back at the diner, these two are chit-chatting, and she's all like, Sarah is all like, hey, Nat, when you were on your world, did you ever have a guy that you were like really into? And she's like, yeah. And she said, what was his name? And she's all like, Tyler something. I don't remember. She's like, let's look him up. And so she looks him up, and he's here, and she's like, oh, he's really cute. And he's having a party. Let's go to his party. And she's all like, no, I'm doing a project for the deal. And she's like, we are definitely going to this party. We can't go to Metropolis, yada, yada. So these two show up, and he's like, hey, she's like, we're leaving. You can have our seats. And he's all like, you want to hang out? Not that, you know, I'm trying to get back with you or whatnot. Listen, I understand that Jordan wants to, like, he loves Sarah and everything. But I just want to be like, dude, stop simping for her. It's not attractive, okay? Like, just chill out. So back at the Gazette, she's explaining what's going down with this judge. This is the judge. She had denied that one dude from last episode get out of jail free card. She had denied him 3 times before, and then all of a sudden she just let him out. And she's like, but she's granted you an interview about judicial reform. And then you're going to hit her with the good stuff. And so he's like, hey, why don't I go with you? We'll be like like we were with the old times. And she's like, that time you forgot to put it on the recorder. And he's like, that one time, the one time. And he's all like, listen, I'll save you hours of traffic and traveling. And she's like, okay, fine, done deal. And then they leave. And she's like, where are those paperweights? Hold on, paperweights. So over here, she gets all dressed up. Look at her, looking all cute and shit. And she's all like, we're going to go to a party in Metropolis. He's like, but I'm making your favorite mushroom tortellini and everything. I'm like, it's like the middle of the day, yo. And she just ate. But he's all like, and she's like, are there going to be boys there? And she's like, yeah, duh. He's like, is there going to be drinking? And she's like, probably. And he's like, but I'm not going to be drinking, and neither is Sarah. And he's like, fine. So then she lies to her mom. Oh, God, I hope my kids never lie to me about this stuff, because I don't know. I think I'm like a cool dad. You know, I'm not one of those regular dads. I'm a cool dad. I hope they're honest with me. Like Nat was just with her dad. Anyways, she's like, we're having a movie marathon at Nat's. And she's like, what movies? And she's like, the classics. I'm like, get the hell out of here. I hate when like young people say the classics and then they say something like Clueless, and you're all like, that's not a classic, okay? If it's not on Turner Classic Movies, it's not a classic. Okay. And so she then gets a call from the old mayor, and he's all like, listen, I can't remember exactly what he says here before he hangs up, but he's like, I'm sorry. And then onomatopoeia shows up, and they've taken onomatopoeia, and unless this isn't onomatopoeia, but onomatopoeia has the same like target face thing. And it's clearly a female because it's got boobs and everything. And you can tell, I mean, if you look at its like body shape and stuff, and later on she talks, and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous, but whatever, we'll see how it goes, because in the comic books onomatopoeia doesn't walk around like this and all like have the face changing thing. It's just he makes, if he was gonna punch you, he'd make the swoosh and punch noise, kind of like that dude from Police Academy. I can't remember his name. He was so much fun. But Hightower, not Hightower, I don't remember. So anyways, he's like, what? And he says something about the pride of Smallville, and then kills him. She obviously, made his heart explode. That's what it looks like to me. And then she destroys his phone. So then back at this judge place, he's like, oh, we're back at our old stomping ground. Maybe what's its face has the early bird special. And she's like, maybe. And he's like, what's going on here? And she's all like, we need to figure out. And she's like, sorry, you're early. And she's like, we want to ask you about the one dude that you let free. And she gets that look on her face like, ah, crap. So then they come in. He's like, listen, me and my ex-girlfriend, we are friends now. We're just friends. And we've been texting each other because she broke up with me. He's like, you need to stop simping over Sarah. Stop it, dude. Because nobody's interested. She's not, and she doesn't want that stuff. And it's really unattractive, dude. You got to get over her. You just have to. And so he's like, why don't we go to this party that my ex just invited me to? And he's like, all right, fine, let's go. He's like, but we'll never get the car back in the house. He's like, we will if we fly. So then these two are talking, and she's like, I did not expect to be reporting on a murder today. And so she talks about how he came to her class in the 3rd grade. And he's like, you were in the 3rd grade? He's like, he's getting a younger lady, you know what I'm saying, guys? So they're obviously going to become a thing now. And then the mayor shows up, Lana, love Lana. And she's all like, he something or other. And she's like, I got to go get Sarah. And so back at the party, this house is so nice. And this is his car right here, this Jeep or whatever. I don't know if that's a Jeep. I don't know anything. Which later on he like complains about. I'm like, what? Look at your house. I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't get I got a car when I was 16, but it was a big clunker, but I picked it out. It's fine. So she's all like, this party is thick. And then she's like, there he is. And she's like, so he's talking to his little girlfriend right here. And he's all like, oh, the car doesn't have tinted windows, and she's like, it's like it's better than what I only got a Mirage for my 16th birthday, and they make out, and she's like, oh, I guess this is enough for us, and she's like, let's go talk to some people. So then Jordan, this chick, I don't remember him dating this girl. And I'm all like, is this a different actress from the last season? I don't remember her. So I'm thinking it's a different actress, but it could be the same actress. Who knows? But she's like, you made it. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Ugh. And so, all right. So then he's like, yeah. And they hug or whatever. And he's like, you go in, talk to some girls or whatever. Because she's all like, can I talk to you for a second? And then so these two are chilling, they're hanging out, and this guy is staring at her. And so Sarah, she's like, I'm your wing woman. So she goes over there and she talks to her and she brings him over. And I like how she like just wore whatever she was wearing for the day, like all grunge and stuff. But then Natalie like dressed up into a nice dress and everything. It's not the best dress, but it's all right. And she's like, this is Mateo, which is Spanish, I believe, for Matthew, which is my name. And she's all like, you guys can chit chat, yada, yada, yada. So they chit chat. Oh, and then this guy, as soon as they came down the stairs, I knew something was going to happen with this guy right here. I just knew it. And something does happen. So then he comes down the stairs. He sees this girl, but he notices it's Sarah. So he turns around because he's like, oh, crap. And he runs into this dude. And this guy's all like, this better come out or I'm going to beat your ass. And I'm all like, what? What are you talking about, weirdo? So then these two, she's like, you're here. So she's like, I gave him parole because he had a tumor. And that's all I have to say about that. And then she's like, you have more to say. And she's like, you need to leave. So then these enforcer guys walk in. And he's like, this interview is over with, and makes them leave. And he's like, we need you to have a chat. And I'm all like, listen here, dude. Yeah, so then they're watching for her. They get smoothies. He's like, listen, he's like, I know something is going on, and and she's like, we'll have to talk about it later. Okay. So she's like, you need to follow the enforcer guy. I'm gonna keep with the judge, and we're gonna figure this thing out. I can't remember exactly what they say. Don't get mad at me. So these two are chit-chatting, and he's all like, he's like, you used to go to our school for one. And she's like, I was only there for one day. And he's like, yeah, but I noticed you, and then you never came back. So I always was like, whatever happened to the girl, the pretty girl that was here? And I'm all like, look at you being all like creepery. But obviously she falls for it because she's like, oh, he noticed me. And she's like, look, I got you something. And he's like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And he's like, wow, thanks. And it's like a bracelet or a necklace, maybe. Hold on. Yeah, it's a bracelet. I don't know. So these two are sitting here. She gives him her jacket, which I'm like, why? I'm like, whatever. And so I can't remember what they say here. Sorry, guys. And so they end up having they're going to go play beer pong. So they're playing beer pong and they're beating these two guys because, of course, they have to. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. And he's like, wait. He's like, you didn't know about the party? She's like, no, I didn't know about the party. And he's all like, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. She told me they were having a movie marathon here. And he's like, I'm sorry. I didn't know that she hadn't told you. And he's all like, I just made some tortellini. You want some? And she's like, I don't want to bother you. And he's like, no, come on in. Come on in. I'm all like, what? It's like in the middle of the day, you guys. It's not even like nighttime, but they're acting like it's like, it looks like it's like noon. But I mean, I guess they could have lunch, but she has wine at lunch. And I'm like, that's irresponsible. You're on the job of mayor. So the judge is sitting on top of the roof, ready to end herself. And she goes up there and she's like, what's the matter? She's like, I knew this was the day I was going to die. Oh, no, she's like, I came into work and everything was fine. And then you said his name and I knew this was the day I was going to die. And I'm like, oh, you're so dramatic. So Superman, he flies up. Hold on, let me just go back. He's above the city. I love watching Superman fly. It's so weird. And he's talking to this guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Sorry. But he's like, everything is fine. Sir Malcolm. And so then he opens, and we get this. What does this say? Business reopen after damage caused by super brawl. Hobbs Bay. Oh, it's super fun. Okay. I think that's the place they were talking about. So he gets a little thing, and it's Superman like flying above the city. Like he gets a little like alert. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. He's like, we'll talk about this later. And then he goes to the balcony. He's like, Superman. And then he flies down and he goes in and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, you know what they used to call this place when I was younger? They used to call it suicide slums because people would off themselves because they had no hope and nobody was coming to save them. But me, I came in and I changed things and I saved them. And he's like, I don't just put out fires. And he's like, you don't think I'm doing any change? And then after they get done, hold on. Oh, and she's all like, hold on, let me see. Did he leave? Yeah, I think he left. And then he's all like, don't come back into my neighborhood acting like you're better than me. And I'm all like, didn't you like call him to you, dude? I'm all like, and he is better than you. He's freaking Superman. So get out of here with your big bag of nonsense. So she's all like, I can't do it. She's like, listen, I understand. I totally get it. You're overwhelmed and everything. These two are chit-chat. She's like, I can't believe this is vegan. I'm like, ew. They're drinking wine and obviously getting frisky in a little bit. Not this episode. But she says that the mayor, when they were gosh, sorry. And so she says, and when she was talking to the mayor, that he mentioned the pride of Smallville, and that he's like, do you know anything about that? And she's like, I've seen it before at my office. Then this girl's all like, listen, I wanna smash you right now. I want to jump on that big D. And he's like, no. And he's like, I have a girlfriend. And she's all like, but you've been texting me all week. And I love how I'm like, what? Is that what the thing is? Like, just because he texts you all week that you think he owes you D now? Like, get out of here with that nonsense. And she's like, I'm not going to tell anybody if that's what you're worried about. And I'm all like, and he's like, I have to go. And I'm all like, I don't know. You got a free pass there. And who's his girlfriend? Now I'm curious as to who his girlfriend is. I'm so confused on there. And this kid right here, this guy right here, I don't remember the actor's name, but he replaced Jordan Elias. And I have to tell you right now, he's different. I'm not saying that he's bad, but he is different in terms of acting. Like, it almost feels like a completely different character, in my opinion. These two are all happy, and he's all like, she's like, pay up, and she's like, you know, was that a 10? Yeah, it was just a 10. She's like, Metropolis money spends better. And he's like, and then they're just like, you can get my beer. You can get me a beer, beer bitch. And they keep calling him a beer bitch. And I don't remember what these two talk about. It doesn't matter. And so she's like, you want a beer? You want a beer? And then she throws a beer in his face. He's like, and then he's like, you get out of here and everything. And I'm all like, oh. And so they all leave. They go back to the office where they find a memory stick, and she pops it in the computer. But as soon as she does, onomatopoeia shows up, and she like takes out the glass and takes these two out. But she notices John Henry Irons, and yeah, and you could totally tell she's a woman because she's got boobies. Anyways, there. You can, oh gosh, right there. You see her boobies? See her boobies? Yeah. Sorry, they're like tractor beams. Sucks me right in. Anyways, so then she destroys the computer, and then back at here. Oh no, this is where I can't remember what he says here, but he's like, don't come back to my neighborhood acting like you're better than me. And so Superman gets here. Oh gosh. And she's all like, I understand what it's like. There's stuff you can't control. I have stage, 3 cancer, and it's aggressive, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. And I'm all like, so then she steps down, and, they're talking about it, but she says because of she didn't have any history from her mom and all this stuff that they weren't able to find it because she didn't get a lump or whatnot. Then the boys, these guys are talking. He comes back with her, and he froze the kid's car. And then, the one dude is all like freaking out and everything, and he's all like, so they end him, and she's like, I told you it wouldn't work, and he's like, I got this kind of thing. And she's all like, we need to talk about John Henry Irons. He's like, John Henry Irons is dead. And she's like, I know, because I killed him. And then these two, he sets up a security for them, and they're all like, well, we're fine and everything. And then they find out that they sit her down, and they tell them that she has cancer, and they're all crying. And that's where that ends. And that's where the episode ends. And like I said before, it's not a bad episode. It's just, it just kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's filler. You know, I just think that they're trying to pull at the heartstrings, which is nice, but I'm all like, yo, we're 2 episodes in. Why don't you try not to make me feel bad? You know, why don't we try some more happy stuff like the last episode where they were all like, we're gonna have a baby and then crush their dreams with no baby for you. You know what I'm saying? But no, they had to like do this thing. Sorry, I'm kind of low energy right now. I've got my coffee. I'm trying to finish it. But yeah, no. Like I said, I liked this episode. I'm just curious as to where they're going with this season. If you seriously, if you know any like what you think where it's going, please let me know. All right, I'm gonna end it there just because I feel like I bored you. Because I've kind of bored myself. But whatever, it's fine. All right, you guys, tell me what you guys think about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite part? Who's your favorite character? How do you feel about this new kid that's playing Jonathan? Do you like him? Do you not like him? I don't dislike him. It just feels like a different character to me. I don't know if I'm in, if the cheese stands alone on that one, but I personally just feel like it's a different, it's just a different character. You know what I'm saying? All right, tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind if you're my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next Superman and Lois breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.